Okay, good morning, co-banker George. Welcome to the Monday meeting. I hope you had a nice weekend. The new era of real estate finally is upon us. As you know, that the any out settlement is fully implemented and being enforced as of August 17, 2024. So starting today, we have to adhere to all the settlement agreement. I know it's very confusing. Just like anything that we start, it's going to have a lot of I wouldn't say chaos, but a lot of confusions in the beginning. So, but rest be sure that we have been teaching you on how to cope with it for the last month, and I hope that you have the tools to deal with it. But if you still need some help, Michelle and I here will help you. So don't be shy about it. Okay, and also the Fed is finally giving some indication that they are going to reduce their interest rate by at least 25 percentage point in the September meeting. Hopefully, we'll be able to convince them to give a bigger cut, which is like 50 percentage point. That will be very nice. But they also left, some room for the November the meeting. So in the November meeting, they will probably another 25 percentage point reduction. That will be nice, although it won't be as fully 1 percentage point as they promised in the beginning of the year, but nevertheless, as if they can reduce 75 percentage point for the year, that would be very nice, and that will really help our real estate transactions. So and the weather is very nice to do the real estate marketing and farming. So take this opportunity and get your engine wrapped up and do some business. So I hope you will have a fruitful year. And is there anything we can help you? Let us know. Okay. Now with that, I would like to start the meeting. Now, since Angie has to go to the next appointment, I would like to let Angie go first. Angie from First American Title.
Thank you, Peter. Good morning, CBG. Angie Tang, First American Title. I just wanted to let you guys know what Peter said is right on the dot. So if interest rates are going down and you're not farming those high interest rates or people that have adjustables, those are great prospects. If you don't know how to run that, please give me a call. I can teach you how to run it. It's now time for door knocking. Like Peter said, it's great weather. So it's time to start door knocking, start sending out information if you haven't already done so. And if you're not sure what market to target, please let me know. We could do a one-on-one and I could show you where all those listings are. The other thing is we just we just found a fraudster file. It was a $20 million transaction.
Wow.
It wasn't in California. Yeah, it wasn't in California, but somebody was impersonating a house that was $20 million in the mountains. And they did some, I guess, Google searching, and they found out that that owner had moved to France, and this was now his secondary home. And because he had no mortgages on that home, they were trying to impersonate him. And so
Wow.
luckily, First American caught it, and we let all the other title companies know. And we did send it, the fraudster, we actually reported him to NAR so that he couldn't try to do this scam again with other people. So just to let you know, we are on top of it when it comes to fraud. We're one of the largest companies, so we always see all the types of frauds that happen. We're always somehow catching them, which is great. So we're here to help you grow your business and secure it. Angie Tang, First American Title. Thank you, Peter. Thank you, CBG, for your attention.
That's very good, very good. Now, I also was wondering, right now, the remote online notary is legal, right, in California?
Yes.
And
Yes.
your company does that also?
Yes, so we're one of the few companies that do it, at least one of the large companies that do it. So we do offer RON services, which is a remote online notary. We do have a First American branch that does it for us, but only for our First American files. Since we are going to be insuring it, we feel comfortable enough to offer the RON services. No fingerprinting is needed. We just ask a few questions, KBA questions to validate the person, and then we can move forward with it. And two people can be RON signers in two different countries. If anybody
okay, good. That's good. And they can, and then you can do the power attorney for that through the
Yes.
run also.
Yes, we can.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Very good.
Of
Good
course,
to know.
case by case, depending on, whether or not that property allows for a power of attorney.
Oh, okay, right. Okay, sounds good. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good day, guys.
All right, then we'll go to Nancy Chen, lawyer's title. Nancy, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Peter, Michelle, and everybody at CB George family. Yeah, fraud is prevalent. And Peter, you just heard on the news that somebody tried to foreclose on the Elvis Presley Graceland. They caught the lady. I don't know what they're thinking of. So it's really crazy. But elderly fraud is something that we see, and that's why we verify everything. If it's an entity, Marie and I know that we want all the entity agreement, the corporate bylaws and articles, so we can verify if that's a person. There are people taking out loans on free and clear property. So when we see it's free and clear, we're very careful. And there are also fraudulent full reconveyances that's been done. Okay, and so we do verify, especially if that loan is a personal loan, we will verify that. Some of the loans were there by Bank of America or any large banks, we know who can sign for the reconveyance. So we have that experience to distinguish that. But when it's a personal loan that's being paid off, we see a full reconveyance, we will want to verify that. And it's not because we're causing you trouble. A lot of lender gets mad at me when they do refi. Why do you want this? This was paid off 10 years ago, 5 years ago, or 2 years ago. It's not we are picking on you. It's more work for us to do that. But we're just ensuring the property that no one has to go to court. So it's really simple. And then right now, there's a lot of people trying to buy auction property, foreclosure property. Be very careful. Okay, so Peter, if you have agents that want to do that, they need to sit down with me or anybody that knows it to see the risk they're involved. Do not take your client to buy a foreclosure notice of sale property. It's really dangerous. Okay, so thank you very much, Nancy Chan, 40 years in the industry, 41 years. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Nancy.
Have a good day.
Yeah, you're right. For the foreclosure sale, they don't have any warranty. They only give you the sheriff deed, which it doesn't carry the normal warranties that they do by, in most of the transactions. So you have to be very careful. You have to do your homework. You have to know what you're dealing with. And hey, once you bid the property, it's yours. No turning back.
Okay, Peter, you remember there was a company called, I don't want to name any names. He was doing trustee sale in the 90s. I was just told by my clients, he ran off with money. The guy's gone.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Tens of millions.
Yeah, that happens, yeah. Okay, thank you, Nancy. All right, let's go to Sandy Franco. Sandy,
Good morning, everyone. How are you? With all the changes that are happening now with you guys in your industry, the best thing you can do is bring value to your clients. Okay, that's what's important. That's how you're going to make sure you continue to get paid. Bring value to your clients. And how you do that is who you work with, right?
Yeah.
Who you surround yourself with, the people you partner with, bring value to your team. That's your title, that's your escrow, that's your lender, that's all the people on this call who want to make you successful. That's how you bring value to your clients. So use the vast knowledge that is on this call. Reach out and find the person who can help you so you can give the best service to your clients that you need to make it so they understand your value and your worth. That's how everyone's going to get through this and it's not, is it different? Sure, but it's fine. Just continue to bring the value to your clients and you will continue to be compensated. Okay. And Peter's right. Beautiful weather. Get out there. Go farming. People don't know who you are if they don't see you. Right. So get out there. I had a great one-on-one with Irma last week. We went over all the personalized stuff. to get her out there and farming, and she loved it. I'd love to do more of that, or bring it into the office and get 6 or 8 or 10 people there and really do a blast and get everyone on how this stuff is free. And, you know, if you don't show people who you are, they won't know who you are. But when you do, you have to bring the value to them. Okay. So keep that in mind. I put my info into chat. Have a great week.
Thank you, Sandy. Appreciate
Oh,
that.
hi, Irma. She's on the call. Hi.
Okay. All right. We'll go to Mark next. Mark, how are you?
I am doing fabulous. Thank
Good.
you, Peter. And good morning, CB George. Here to assist you guys with your buyers on insurance need. It's, you know, whether it's a home, a condo, or a commercial policy. I am seeing in the industry where a lot of apartment complexes, 5 units and more, even the smaller ones, are all getting non-renewed. Those take anywhere from 3 to 6 weeks to get a proposal. The best thing you can do is get a loss run. That tells, it's like your DMV record on your driving record, where it will say whether or not there's been a loss on the property. In fact, even if you're representing a seller, it's good to have that in place so that if they don't have a claim, you could say, hey, look, this house doesn't have a claim on it. And so, because right now I'm finding out a lot of buyers are very jittery. They are hearing about the cost of insurance, and some of them are going in with trepidation. So if you have it all lined up for them, you know, the deals will be much smoother and we could close and buy. The question always is, Mark, is this house insurable? In 99.9% of the cases, it's insurable. It's whether or not we could get a proposal in time or a rate that the buyers will accept. All right. So I'm here to assist you. I always respond back, even when I'm traveling. Now, next week, I will be going to London to support my daughter, who is representing the U.S. in a 32-nation spike ball tournament. So, but I will have my texting and my phone available and could still assist you when I'm in a foreign country. Thank you so much.
Wow, congratulations on your daughter's achievement. That's very a great honor.
She actually got selected as a team captain for the U.S. team. So
wow.
It's not quite Olympics, but it is a world tournament.
Great. Gee, wonderful. Very good, Mark. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, as Frank, do you have any good news for us today?
Yes, Peter. Hey, everybody. It's Frank Delgadillo from CMG Home Loans in Glendora, California. It's an amazing day. It's an interesting day. And with this in mind, knowing that it's being said the Fed rates are going to get cut down, but that is separate than mortgage interest rates. Why? Because the Fed rate has not cut down, but yet we've seen interest rates drop in the last week. It's gone up and down, up and down. It's been all over the place, but we have seen it. So people that have been on the sidelines in wanting to refinance or not, at least get them going. Have you and your clients, as agents, talk to your clients, because if you're not talking to them, even though you're thinking, well, it's a refi, why do I have to be involved with them? Well, if you're not, another agent is, that they're going to bring their lender, and then they're going to connect with them, and they're going to say, hey, by the way, who do you know that's looking at buying or selling? And then your clients start fizzling away like in the air. So be mindful of your clients, because they will keep you in mind all the time. Just like with one of Alex Argueda's clients, that they're doing a reverse mortgage. And he sold him a home 15, 20 years ago. And because he still keeps him in contact, it's how they were able to go to him. And then Alex said, hey, I got a good guy. And they reached out to me and we're helping them out. So it takes little baby steps to get that done. Knowing that as far as what Fed rates are, they are going to come down soon enough. We got to see when and how much. But hopefully all that helps, because that helps out commercial, that helps out prime loans, equity lines, credit cards. So that way everything will kind of feel a little bit more at ease. Knowing that right now with this whole NAR thing, I wanted to provide you some good, valuable information where how you as a buyer agent can help get your commission negotiated. Obviously, there's so many things that are still uncertain, but if I can kind of I'm going to put a link here on the chat and see how that works. And then maybe when I'm able to do a presentation for CBG, I think Michelle and I already spoke, and I thank Irma for this. Irma's just one of your great gals, that she's going to be the next up and rising star out for you guys. So hold on to her. She is gold for you guys. I'll put the link on the chat and hope we can help you as buyer agents and get your commission negotiated so that you can profit out of this as much as you can.
Great. Very good. Thanks, Frank. Appreciate that. Okay, I think that's all the affiliates other than Marie, which is our spotlight affiliate speaker today. Is there anyone besides Mary that want to speak up before I introduce her?
Yeah.
If not, then let's welcome Mary from Contempo Escrow, and she can talk to us about how to cope with the new changes of the NAR settlement, and there will be a new era for us. So, Mary?
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm going to talk on several topics today. I'm just going to kind of condense a few, but I'll start with the current situation we're in as far as the commissions and the new contracts. What I will say to you is, for everyone, we are in a changing time of real estate. And I've said this before, I don't think I've seen this big of a change until they changed from when they changed TRID and going from the HUD to the estimate, and that whole change of era, which happened probably about 9 years ago, and it sent everyone into a complete frenzy. And we're here now. And this time, before it affected us as escrow, which affected all of you as well, it affected all of us. But in this case scenario, it affects all of you directly. And what I've seen is right now, they're just not being nice about how this is coming in. And effectively, as of the 17th, we're in full force. And what I'm seeing on TikTok, because I kind of follow it just to kind of see what everyone's saying, but you'll see the butt end of the jokes falling on selling agents who represent buyers. I've always said to you as a whole, and I've seen it coming for probably the last 5 or 6 years, buyers agents are going to be extinct sooner than later. People don't really need them. Now, if you have a client that has a buyer, I 100% say you continue on with your business, but that should not be your primary business. The market is shifting. Your buyers are smarter. They're savvy. They're going direct. So you need to focus your accounting on your listings, because that's where it's going to be. That's where your farming is, reaching back out to your sphere of influences, your door knocking, whatever you do to get your future business, that's where you should be. As far as the contract is concerned, we as escrow, I think how would I speak for myself in my office, Contempo? We're communicators. So we're going to be watching very carefully for contracts. My understanding, and I'm not an expert at this, Peter, you and Michelle can interrupt me or correct me at any time. There is a box that we're going to be looking for to be checked that says the seller shall share the commission with that buyer. Mm-hmm. And that is what we're going to look for. And then we're going to look for an addendum to be attached to state what that new commission is. For us, our key is we're going to be highlighting that box, and we're going to see if that agent does not check that box. Then we're going to pick up the phone and ask conversations or send emails to all parties. Well, not all parties, but that selling office, because it's their issue, whether or not there's a commission being involved. The last thing we want to do is get to the end of our escrow and not allot for a commission, and someone thinking they're getting paid and they're not. Mm-hmm. So I think this is going to be a very sensitive area. I think we as escrow, we're still going to be learning. Doug just sent me over some information in regards to how it's all panning out. So we're studying as well, but this is it's almost like, that old saying, stepping on toes in this. It's a very sensitive area, because now we're talking about people's financials and being able to pay their bills. And that's what it comes about between the listing agent and the selling agent. So I think this is all very sensitive. People's reactions to all of this are on high right now. And Jimmy in our last meeting said something, a keyword, and I reflect back to this word, is adaptability. We're going to have to adapt to the new changes, because the changes are going to be, it's a sensitive change because it affects your financials and how you move futurely in your finances as far as real estate is concerned. So I just say the one thing is not only do I add adaptability, I add communication, because the things that I've seen, like on, and if some of you go to TikTok, they've almost made it to where the buyer agent is walking on eggshells in these transactions. Like they have no power, they have no say, and I think a lot of that is hype, because there's a fear that they want to put in everyone. And it's really, I think it's all about communication. So when we take adaptability, we also have to add communication. We have to communicate, keep things in writing. Definitely, I'm always quick to pick up a phone call, but a phone call is not necessarily your evidence. So sometimes putting it in writing between the agents, so to say, hey, you understand this is my commission. Let's have it in the contract. Let's have a disclosure to that. Let's make sure escrow knows, because it's. I think it is going to be a tough road for the next few months until all the chaos kind of comes out of all of this. So if you guys have any questions on any of this, I'm always available for you. I also want to talk about, Peter, what he stated about the interest rates being cut. We continue to hear that the interest rates are going to be cut, which we hope is going to bring a new change to how we do business, and that we will do more business. But I shared a story that I was talking to one of my representatives at US Bank, and he was stating that, with the economy currently, people are in more debt probably than ever before, because the costs are going up and people's paychecks aren't changing. So we have a division in financials. So you have people who are using more credit cards. They're kind of maxing out their savings and things of the nature. And this is from one of their loan officers. And what he said to me is that people are now moving to their equity line of credits to now use their homes to get through the financials. So I think when we hope that we can get the feds to cut the rates so that people can kind of get back to moving the economy, because I do feel like people are financially, strapped right now, and we need something. So I do say to you, get out again, do your farming, do your sphere of influence, talk to people, because I think if we can even get the feds to get the rates somewhere in the fives, I think we'll see the frenzy. Because as the guy from US Bank said to me, most, and I'm thinking really, I'm going to go out with a number of 80% on this. Most people have their interest rates at 3% or 2.5 or 3.5. People aren't going to move those unless they absolutely have to. Now, is there a range of markets that absolutely have to? We talk about this all the time. There's divorce, there's people moving, there's people their kids are going to college. So they will have to get rid of those rates and sell. And really, do we have a shortage of business? Yes. Has business stopped moving? Absolutely not. You guys see your listing count. In both of your office, people are still selling, and real estate is still moving. It's just moving a little slower. But I think if we see the interest rates cut, I think people will jump on. I always say this about the millennials. They're not scared. So they jump on and they hold on, and they sell even in the midst of COVID. It was so funny because my millennials are who were buying, but the parents were saying, don't buy. The whole world's coming to an end. Don't buy, wait and see, that the world's not going to end. But the millennials, they kept moving, and they're still moving in all of this. They're just not scared. Where we are more reserved, they're moving forward. So real estate is going to continue. So, just be prepared by getting out there and getting your feet wet to your clients, so that when that economy does turn around, you're at the forefront of their brain. I'm seeing a lot of right now. It's just a weird time, and again, I, who have been in this business 30 years, have seen a lot. And I think where I'm starting to see, we created TRID to say no changes. Let's protect our consumer. That was the protection. No changes in far as credits, fees, dues. But I'm starting to see those things are changing. I'm seeing price reductions done at the last minute, and we're having to restructure our loans. I'm seeing closing cost credits coming in at the last minute. So what we were so ironclad about in creating TRID, where we don't make changes, I'm now starting to see changes. And what I'm seeing is that these credits are huge now. And what sellers are doing, they're accommodating credits to allow the buyers to buy down points to help their interest rates. So we are seeing credits coming in later in our transaction, and we're seeing the closing cost credits we have to be careful, because in those closing cost credits, if a buyer does not have enough cost, sometimes we have incredible lenders that have very low cost. And if that buyer's, if their cost doesn't exceed that credit, guess what? Your buyer could very well lose that credit at the table, because the lender is only going to allot for what that buyer can use. If you have a buyer that has very good credit and they have a large, enough down payment, and their lender has very low fees, guess what? That lender is not going to allow them to use all that credit, and they will lose it. I had a lender one time in escrow, and I want to say it was a transaction in your office, where the lender cut the buyer's fees because they didn't have, the seller gave the buyer a credit, and the agent gave commission as credit. The lender cut the credit from the agent because the buyer didn't have enough cost. So when we were funding, the lender cut the credit from the agent, so the buyer got less costs. And then they did another cut because the buyer ended up getting proceeds back, and the buyer couldn't have any proceeds back. So they cut that credit again. So lenders are being very, it's almost like a monopoly on what a lender will do. One of the things I just had a lender do, which I've never seen before, is I had a lender cut out a TC fee. The TC fee was $600, but the TC did not put the TC fee in the contract. So when the lender asked me for an addendum to show the TC fee, I didn't have one. The TC just sent me an email and said, hey, I'm going to send you an invoice. Can you add my TC fee of X amount of dollars to the transaction? For escrow, that's fine. As long as my buyer will sign off on my invoice and I can put it into my estimate, we're okay with that. But this lender says if it was never disclosed on a contract, it can't be used. Well, I have to now be aware of that and tell you guys, which I know how you guys' TC fee works, or any fee. So I'm very clear that you guys, but some offices where TC is, people are using independent TCs. If your TC is not, I'm telling all TCs from this point, get it in a contract, get an addendum done to your contract, because I've now seen a lender do this where they're cutting out TC fees. So I've never seen this before. But I also say to you, we are in a changing climate of real estate and how things are being done. And adaptability in communication is something where we're going to have to put a lot of effort into those areas, because we're changing and we're going to a new age of real estate. We're seeing things where lenders are allotting for no insurance. I've closed 3 transactions in a very short period of time that had no insurance. And as escrow, for me, if the lender allows it, I prepare a hold harmless letter for myself, my real estate agents, that we're holding harmless. If that's lender understands this is what they're doing, and there's no insurance involved. And, we have to move forward with how things are changing, because we don't have a whole lot of control over things that are being changed. So, if you guys have any questions, I'm always available to you. My focus is, and my primary is I've always been real estate. That's what I do. But, I always tell you guys, don't slip on mobile homes either. Even with mobile homes, believe it or not, I am getting way more stricter on mobile homes, because the more that I'm in mobile homes, the more that I find there are holes in mobile homes, because they're not governed like real estate. Governed real estate, one of the things we've said quite a bit about is fraud. We have a lot of fraud out there right now, whether it be real estate, whether it be mobile homes. You're going to find fraud to be a little bit more prevalent because there's no regulations on mobile homes. So I, as an escrow officer, I have implemented my own protection for you as an agent and for myself, because one of the things Nancy said is elderly fraud. And with mobile homes, you find it a lot. I got a call years ago from a very big agent in Pasadena who called me because there was a mobile home park in Glendora in which the park was watching the community, and they would watch who would come to and from that person's home and whether or not they ever had visitors. And when that individual died, they were taking the mobile homes and reselling the mobile homes to people at double the cost of the mobile home, but they never transferred the titles on the mobile homes. So they had about 10 or 15 mobile homes that had been purchased. And this particular mobile home, they focused on non-speaking English, but Hispanic community, where they knew that these people could not defend themselves and they were oblivious to what rules and regulations are. They were under the impression that they were buying homes, but in all actual reality, they was giving this park X amount of dollars and they never owned these homes. So the realtor came to me to see if there was anything I could do. And unfortunately, I'm not going to get myself into a legal matter or something of that nature. I told them they contact Department of Housing and they probably should file a class action. But I say all of this to say to you, with mobile homes, I always say the majority of the people that are selling mobile homes are elderly or their heirs. They pass away and their heirs don't want the mobile home, so they resell them. So with all of that being said, in mobile homes, you don't have to prove that you are an heir. It's say, for instance, I have a mobile home right now in which
Marie,
yes.
Can you aware of the time?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can you save the mobile home for the next time?
Yes.
I know you have a lot to say, but I'm sorry.
That cut me off. I'm sorry. I was trying to watch the time, but I got to way. But thank you. So what we'll do in the future, I do want to do a mobile home class because I do feel mobile home
that would be nice.
Changing too. So I do want to do that. But guys, thank you. I always have a lot to say to you guys because I try to take what I do every day and give it to you. That way you know what's happening on my side of life so that you're well informed. But thank you for everyone and enjoy the rest of your week.
Thank you very much, Mary. It was very, very educational. All right, with that, I would, before I go into the company's business, I would like to make some announcement. As you know, that the NAR settlement is going full force as effective August 17, 2024. So and make sure that you don't you mention anything about commission in the MLS and even in the public remarks, okay? Because a violation can be hefty. It's 2,500 per violations, and they are not giving any warnings at all either. So be very careful and don't get into that kind of predicament. And then we have our lunch and learn this Wednesday at 1 o'clock by the Elite Inspections. Also, the Friday training is by Michelle Olsen, and is regarding the updated forms also. And Thursday, we also have in-person meeting in the Alhambra office. And, you are welcome to come, and we can you can have one-on-one training or tutoring on the updated forms. So it'll be 1 o'clock this Thursday, okay? Now with that, I would like to turn to Doug Myers for Arcadia's business. Doug, are you there?
I'm here. Hey, good morning, everybody. Man, the weather's hot out there. The next 3 days are going to be warm, so stay cool. But there is going to be a cooling trend coming, so hopefully the business is hot. Here in Arcadia, in the last 7 days, we have 3 new listings and 5 new sales. So I'm going to tell you what we got. very affordable, Merino Valley, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 629. KO has that listing. In Monterey Park, we have a condo on Atlantic Boulevard, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 688. Again, very affordable. All in the sixes here, guys. And in Roland Heights, Madonna Street, Roland Heights, 4-bedroom, 3-bath, 698. And that's way underpriced there. So if you got to buy for Roland Heights, you may want to talk to Teresa Choi. Tien Gan has the one in Monterey Park. And then our 5 sales in the last week. First of all, in Monterey Park on Lincoln Avenue, Ming Lee had a sale for $900,000 listing. Wendy Lee in Walnut, $1,358,000. Wendy Lee had a buyer in Cucamonga. It's a house 775. And Laura, who's here on the call, had a buyer that bought a house in Arcadia on Fifth Avenue for $1,350,000. So congratulations there, Laura. And also Steve Sadler and Nick Borelli had a listing that sold on Cloverdale in Los Angeles. It's a house, $1,075,000. Almost all of these listings and sales, when I ask the agents, they're either past clients or sphere of influence. So I'm telling you guys, keep in touch with your past clients and your sphere of influence. There is business out there. It's a lot easier than other ways of getting business. There's all kinds of ways to get business, but the easiest, I think, is sphere of influence. So that's where all this business is coming from. So good luck to everybody. Thank you, Peter.
Thank you, Doug. Good job. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody.
As for our Hamburg office, we have only one listing, which is by Rosa Reyes for the condo in Almonte, which sells for $585,000. But she will get pretty good commission, 5% of total, and which is a 2.5% each side. So that's pretty good. And for the sales, we're pretty good. We have 6 sales for our Hamburg office. The first one is that the Cindy and Cody Wu, Cindy Fan and Cody Wu, double-ended a house in Monterey Park for $1.37 million. So they between two of them, they're pretty good commission. I think it's almost like 50,000 of it. So that's pretty good. And then we have Mandy San, which has a listing. She listed the property for $5.45 million in Arcadia. That was it's a residential house, a very nice house, for it used to be over 6.5 million. Now they dropped down to 5.4. So she got a pretty good commission out of that. And then we have Christine Fan. She has sold a business opportunity in Alhambra for $270,000. Lily Yun has two listings. Actually, it's 2 sales. One is in San Gabriel for $768,000. And the other one is in Temple City for $948,000. So pretty good. Both listings are pretty good sales. And lastly, Nina Xu double-ended the condo in the Monterey Park for $738,000. So congratulations on all those sales and listings. Is there any more listings or reduction in prices that somebody or anybody want to add on? No? Okay. Any questions or anything you want to share about your thrill of success and agonies of defeat? No? Okay, pretty quiet today, huh? Okay, if not, then I'll do my sharing today, which I want to tell you about how to talk to the buyer after the NER settlement. And as you know, the NAR settlement is in full force now, and there's a lot of confusions out there, especially with the media and all, and they make it such a big deal, and everybody is kind of panicky, especially for some of the agents who are not familiar with the intricacy of the settlement and the requirements. So, but actually, it's pretty simple. You know, all the change is that you know, you have to when you have representing a buyer, you have to have a written agreement, and there cannot be any negotiation of commissions in the MLS, and it has to be directly negotiated with the seller. And then you cannot mention anything about the commissions in the MLS listings. So you know, pretty simple, but the implication is very pervasive, because that affect all, you know, the way that we practice real estate, because now that you know, you have to talk to the buyer, and you have to talk to the seller, and being a buyer's agent is it's a lot of challenge sometimes. So the first thing that you have to do is to convince that the buyers that they really need you as an agent to represent them, you know, and the more you can convince them, the better. And so I think before you approach any buyer to solicit their listing, you should kind of practice how to talk to them, you know, and so try to be persuasive, and surely you know, if they have confidence in you, they will hire you as the agent. So but some of the realtors are still kind of hesitant to implement the changes, and either they are too confused about it, or they don't think it's necessary. But I'm telling you, those attorneys are out there, and they're looking for your non-compliance, you know, and they promise to prosecute you if you violate the settlement of the NAR. So watch out, you know, and also the Department of Justice is also looking at the antitrust nature of the settlement. And if there's any antitrust activity, I'm sure that they will come down and you know, enforce that against you. So one thing is clear, okay? This is going to stay, and then whether you want to you know, to obey it or not, or comply with it or not, and it's up to you. But be very careful if you don't want to comply with it. And I'm sure that they will scare a lot of agents away. And as a matter of fact, the California DRE already says that there has been about 60,000 people switch or quit real estate because of those turmoils and things like that. So I hope you're not one of them. But if you decide to stay, you should know how to talk to the buyer. And the first thing you have to bring up is that, hey, you know, buying a house is one of the biggest decisions in life, and don't take it too lightly, because you know, right now the average house in California is $927,000. That's a substantial investment, no matter how you look at it, you know. And it's going to take you like 30 years to pay off, you know. And maybe this is one of the largest investment in life, and you know, you cannot take it too lightly. So you want to know all the intricacy of investing in a house, no matter whether you are the first time buyer or the second or third time buyer. You know, this is a substantial investment. Is one of the biggest decisions in life. And so you have to convince them that they need your help. Okay, there are 9 reasons why they need your help. The first reason is that, hey, you know, you are one of the best trained and educated agent in the real estate. in real estate laws, and you have been educated. It takes a lot for you to study the real estate laws and to pass the exam and get the license. So and nowadays buying a house or listing a house is it takes a lot of knowledge, and you just show them the residential purchase agreement by itself is 17 pages, and it has a lot of intricacy in that contract. And this is only one of them, and then you have a lot of disclosures that you have to make, and all those ancillary documents that you have to sign. And so, without educated agent in the real estate laws, and you being a buyer will have a lot of difficulties along the way. And the second reason why they need you is that that you can advise them of the complete cost of home ownership. Owning a home is no easy things. Not just that because you have to get some money to put a down payment and also get a loan, but also later on after you purchase the house, that you have things to deal with. Your insurance, your property tax, and HOA fees and maintenance costs. And so those are all the things that you have to be aware of and tell the buyer. The third reason why they should hire you is that you can find homes that work for their needs. And it is a specialized knowledge because you a different kind of needs a different kind of house. For example, if you have kids, you like to have a good school district, and if you're an elderly person, you want to find a place where it's next to the hospital or next to the place that you shop and dine and easy for the retired people to move around. And so you have that kind of knowledge, and you can advise them on that. And then the fourth reason is that you know the market inside out, because you have all the updated information, you have the MLS listing, you have all the resources that are put forth by the co-op banker, and then you have all the most updated comps and to find out what exactly kind of the value of the property, and so they are employing you. They have the informed consent of all what they're getting into. So. And the fifth reason is you can look for red flags for them. That's there can be a lot of hidden things about the properties. For example, if there's you can see the termite infestation, you can advise them to get a good termite report. And if there's any history of the dry cleaner on premises, advise them for the phase 1 environmental report. And there was all plumbing problems to do a sewer inspection. And then you can also advise them of the natural hazards such as fire, flood, and the earthquakes. And and also the last thing is also that a lot of times some houses have unpermitted remodeling, and that's the big things, because after you purchase the house, and when the city come and inspect the house, they find that the unpermitted remodeling, they will tell you to tear it down and remodel it again after taking the permit from the city, and that can be a considerable expenses to do that. And so if you are suspecting of unpermitted remodeling, you have to check with the city and whether everything is legitimate. Okay, so that's a big red flag, if you suspect of unpermitted remodeling. And the sixth reason is that you can make them a very competitive offer. And sometimes the offer is not just the price alone. It can be other provisions, such as the rent back cost, or shorter escrow, or like all cash offer, or the allowance on some of the repairs, even though it's you are selling it as is. As if doesn't mean that you cannot bargain for repairs. It's all negotiable. Okay. And so by doing that, you can make the most competitive offer that fits your need. And then the seventh reason is negotiate on your behalf. And the BU being a real estate agent, you'll be negotiating with sellers and buyers all the time, and you're kind of expert in negotiating on these kind of terms. So they can negotiate the best deal for you. And in terms of inspection, in terms of home warranty, and in terms of asking for repairs, they can get the best deal for the buyer. Okay, so this is one of the advantages of the engaging real estate agent to do that. Because if you are representing yourself to buy a home, you never it's a little bit difficult for you to negotiate on your own, because the seller would probably not be more conducive to your request. Okay, and the eighth reason is protect your rights. You have a lot of rights in this real estate transactions. You're entitled to fair housing laws, and you have the right to negotiate, you have the right to rescind, you have the right to be properly informed of material facts about the property, you have the right to inspect and investigate, and you have the right to have the transparency on the transaction. All those, you can demand to demand it in that when you're negotiating the real estate transaction. And they having an agent to protect your right is much easier because maybe you're not knowledgeable of those rights and not knowledgeable of those laws, and without knowing it, you can't negotiate for your right? Can you? So by having a real estate agent is a lot better. And the last but not the least is that they can connect you with the network of real estate personnel. For example, the plumbers, the electricians, for repairs and the plumbing and all that. They have a whole bunch of vendors that you can be getting acquainted with. In the case that later on you need repair, you need to do any maintenance, you can call upon them. So that's a good thing too. So now, and lastly, the most important thing is that you have to educate your buyer about the new procedure for commission. Now you have to tell them that, hey, because of the NER settlement, you can no longer negotiate the commission on MLS, and actually you cannot even say anything about the MLS, and the automatic commission for the buyer or to share commission with the listing broker is gone forever, And now the contract to give commission between the seller and the listing agent is for the listing agent himself, and not for the buyer's agent. So in order for you being a buyer agent to get the commission, you have first of all get the BRPC, which is the buyer's representation and brokers compensation agreement, and sign it, and have the buyer promise to pay you certain percentage or certain amount of commission. And then you have to tell the buyer that, hey, this is the first step, and it doesn't mean that the buyer has to pay for the whole thing, for the, like, say, if the buyer promised to pay 2%, it doesn't necessarily mean that the buyer has to end up paying 2% of the commission to the buyer's broker. It only means that, hey, the buyers are committed to allowing the buyer's broker to get up to 2%. So after that, the buyer's agent has to go to the seller and negotiate separately with the seller how much commission that the seller is willing to give to the buyer's broker. And this is negotiated in the RPA, the Residential Purchase Agreement, with the attachment of the SPBB. And then, you know, and then you present the RPA with the SPBB to the seller, and the seller can counter back whether they are willing to pay for the amount that is stated in the SPBB, or if they just decline it. Okay? And if they can counter with a small amount or partial payment, and then you can go back to this the buyer and say, tell the buyer, hey, you know, the seller doesn't want to pay the whole thing, and then there's still about so much that I need somebody to pay, or need the buyer to pay. So ask the buyer if they would like to pay it or not. If the buyer said, yes, I will, then no problem. If they said, that the buyer said, okay, I'm not willing to pay, I don't have the means to pay for that, then you have to decide whether you want to represent continue to represent the buyer or not, or you can just terminate the BRPC totally. And so it's up to you. It's always negotiable, you know. So it's not the end of the story. Once the sellers counter back the SPBB. So these kind of things, that this is something new, you know. You just have to go methodically from one stage to another, and step by step, and convince the buyer and the seller, and that's the commission that you want to get. And then, you know, what comes to us, and you can say, oh, well, I'm sorry, I can, you know, if the seller doesn't want to pay, or the buyer doesn't want to pay either, so you can say, hey, you know, I did the best I can. You guys don't want to pay for my services. I cannot work for free, so I'm not going to represent the buyer. And then, you know, wash your hand and go away. So this kind of thing that I know is kind of intricate, but nevertheless, you have to have the wisdom and the courage to talk to the buyer and the seller, and try to negotiate the commission for yourself. I know it's a little bit different, but as I said, everything is negotiable, and you just have to polish your negotiating skills and get your commissions. Okay, so we'll stop here, and then entertain any questions if you might have. Anything that you want to ask me? So yeah, by looking at this, this is you know, this is the way that you approach your buyer, you know, in order for them to engage you and to negotiate with you for the purchase. Okay.
Yeah, Peter, Franco.
Yeah, Franco.
On the we're going to present the RPA and the SPBB to the selling agent, and they're going to refuse to pay us a certain amount of commission. And then we're going to go back to our buyer, and the buyer's going to say, absolutely not, I'm not paying you. Isn't that more or less allowing the listing agent to double in most circumstances?
Yeah, it's up to the buyer now, whether they want to engage.
You know, buyers are liars, and they have no loyalty. You know that. When it comes to saving $1,
yeah,
you know, they'll sell their dog.
But that's their prerogative, you know. But I don't. You have to ask them whether the listing agent will have the full you know, fiduciary interest to fight for the buyer's interest, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
I understand that.
Of course, you have a dual agency, or you don't even have to have a dual agency. You can offer make an offer to the listing agent by yourself as a buyer, and not having any agent at all. But can the buyer do that with all those you know, sophistication of forms and procedures?
Sure, because they're going to ask the seller to represent them also and fill out all the forms and help them do it.
I mean, the listing broker to represent.
The listing broker, right, exactly.
Yeah, if the listing broker is willing to represent them, there will be a dual agency, and sometimes even if the listing agent doesn't want to represent them, they can or the listing broker can help the buyers to fill out the offer and present it to the seller. And then then the listing agent can ask the seller for additional commission because that they have to help the buyer.
Okay, and something else that's come up, and we're all talking about fraud. You guys know what Fast Track is on the freeways?
Yeah, yeah.
There's a company that's sending out fake Fast Track bills. They say you went through a Fast Track, you owe us $967, and if you don't pay in the next 10 days, it's going to go to $9667. Those are fake. They send you a text to your phone.
Oh, yeah.
And they're fake. You have to get a letter from Fast Track and then pay it. Yes. Fast Track does not text anybody, and they will not call anybody. So if you get a text from Fast Track, it's fraudulent.
Yes.
So don't pay it.
Frank, I wish you would have told me that before I actually got hit with it, but I did send them.
You put your credit card and everything in there and didn't get a receipt for it, did you?
I did. Well, I didn't pay it, thank goodness, but I got the email and I panicked. So I went into the text and the only thing I did is I put my driver's license number in, and then it just didn't feel right. But at the end of the day, I got the driver's license number.
But don't they give you a telephone number you can call to verify?
They sent you a letter. They don't send you a text or email.
They sent me a text and they gave me a link to pay it.
No. That's false. They don't send out text at all. They don't send email. They don't send text. They sent you a ticket in the mail.
And that's what I just said, Nancy.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Don't do it.
They send you a link to pay it.
No.
I know, and I'm in real estate, and I should have known better, but I didn't. I actually did and put my driver's license number in.
So just be aware of it to all the agents and escrow people and title companies and stuff.
Okay. Thank you for pointing it out, Franco.
No problem.
Okay. Anything about how to talk to the buyers for today? If you have further questions, you can always come to me or Michelle, and we can give you in-person discussion about it.
Peter, this is Rebecca.
Rebecca, yes.
Okay, where with this new thing are they covering the buying agent? They're not, right? Not at all. Because we can lose our clients that we want to go look for properties for, and then all of a sudden they're like, no, we want this house, we're going to stick with them, and it's an automatic double-ended for the listing agent. But for the buying agent, we have no backup. No, you know what I'm saying?
For the buyer's agent, you don't have any backup?
Yeah, if they don't want to give the commission.
Yeah, okay, yeah, it's up to them. They have the full discretion whether to give you commission or not. They don't even have to sign the BRBC with you if they want to. But if they don't want to sign the BRBC, then don't represent them. You waste of time.
Yeah. Yes, that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Peter.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Sylvia. Now, in regards to that, I mean, I'm considered a buyer's agent, and you always lean on that. And yes, I've had listings, but basically I'm more a buyer's agent. So in my opinion, this is going to be a trial period for all of us because the lenders are telling us and we know that there are no provisions in the loan for the funds to be allocated for the buyer's agent. Right. So, but a lot of people are speculating and speculating it wrong that if they're a buyer themselves and they go and ask the listing agent, well, I don't have an agent and I can pay you $1,000. That's gonna pan out. I said, no, it's not gonna. No agent is going to work for free. Right. If you're a listing agent and a customer walks in with no agent of his own, he's going to say, can you represent me? Yes, but I'm not going to do it for free. And so, you know, this is going to be a trial period. And a lot of agents, I know they love double ending, and a lot of them are reluctant to do that specifically. So there's going to be there's going to be both sides of the coin. So it's going to be a testing period for all of us, I think.
You're right. You're very, very right. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of smoke before it settles down.
Right. And I think a lot of lenders are saying too that it's going to be a testing period for them, because they're going to realize without the buyer, there will be no sellers. Why? Because they want to sell their house, but if they don't allocate those funds to, they did it before. We just have to paint the picture to the listing, to the sellers, that they paid it before, but it was and it was clarified on the what do they call that? The escrow document, that we tell them, this is how much you will make if you sell your house, and this is how much I will make and the other buyer's agent will make. It was clear, but somehow somebody got smart out there and decided to go for the class action. But
right. Yeah,
so
I agree with you. I agree.
Yes.
The only difference now is that the buyer's agent has to negotiate directly with the seller and to be transparent with all the parties involved. That's the only difference.
Right. And the lenders are saying too.
The mechanics,
that there is a possibility they will be looking into allocating funds, because if some people want to buy a house, but they don't have the money for the down payment, they're going to have to allocate it somehow in the loan, but it's still not there yet. But it's coming, because things are changing in that direction, you know?
Right. You're right. I agree.
Thank you.
Peter, one more question.
Yeah,
if I'm the buying agent, I can look on the MLS, call that agent direct and ask them if they're going to pay commissions. If they're not, then I'm not going to show that property to my buyers, right?
You could. Yeah, you could.
Okay, then good. That's what I'm going to do. Okay.
But you don't mention anything in the MLS, okay?
Yes, no. Just communicate with them. Yeah.
Or you can call the listing broker or this
if they're giving compensation.
Find out more information, but you cannot disclose in the MLS.
Yes, I think that's the smartest way to do as a buying agent.
Yeah, right.
Okay, thank you, Peter.
Okay, sure. Anything else?
Hi, Peter. This is Laura.
Yes,
I have a seller, and they're going to sign the listing contract today. But regarding the commission, I told them that the total commission is going to be 4% because he's buying a replacement property. I'm going to represent him too. And I told him the total commission is 4%, 2% for the buyer's agent, and 2% for our company. But he said that I asked another agent, and they told me I only have to pay 2% for you. And he said, I agree to pay you 2% for selling my property, and I agree to pay you 2% for buying my property, but I don't want to pay for the buyer's agent 2%. So now I don't know how to handle this situation.
Then you have to convince them that if you don't pay the buyer's agent, nobody's going to bring them any buyers. And you have to, and then the seller will probably have to wait a lot longer to get any sales on the table or any offer on the table.
Okay, so it's just
whether they want to do that or not, you have to explain to them the importance of having to pay the buyer's broker, because nobody wants to work for free, And it used to be that there was the 4% is shared between the listing broker and the buyer's broker, but now the only formality is different. You pay the 2% for the listing broker first, and then you later on you have to put it in the RPA as to how much the seller will pay the buyer's broker. That's all. That's the only thing. It's the format that is different. The essence is the same.
Yeah. So and also we have to charge him 2% for buying the property for them, right?
Buying
They
the
have,
property for who?
yeah, because they are purchasing a replacement property
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
selling
Yeah.
present
Oh, yeah.
property.
Right.
So that total they have to pay 6%.
Yeah, if they want to buy a replacement property as well. Yeah, that's a different transaction.
Yeah, but they told me, oh, I only agreed to pay 4% to
Altogether?
you selling and buying. Yeah, so that's why
Then
I
it's
don't know
up
how
to
to
you to
handle these.
convince them. You know, you have to explain them the importance of giving, having the
Yeah.
proper commission. Otherwise, nobody will like to work for free. You know. Yeah.
Okay, I will try.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
thank
if you have
thank
any further difficulty, you come to me, then we'll find a way to handle it. Okay.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Sure. Anybody else? Okay, if no more questions, then I would like to adjourn the meeting, and I wish you a nice week. And as I said, the weather is nice, so go and drum up some business. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Peter.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
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 Bye. Right.